What's going on, everyone? Brickhouse here with another quick video. This one's Disney related. As some of you know or may not know, I don't know. Bob Iger, a couple months back, took over again as CEO of Disney after they fired Bob Chapek, who replaced Bob Iger when he retired. And Bob Chapek was fired basically on a Sunday night. It was a weird situation. Of course, anything goes in, corporate America, I guess. But anyway, so Disney has, for lack of a better term, been just a shambles the last couple of years. So this from the Daily Mail. Disney faces huge shakeup as CEO Bob Iger vows to spend less on making movies and TV, calls for fewer Marvel sequels, and weighs up the sale of its Hulu streamer to cut costs. Yeah. Disney boss Bob Iger has vowed to cut costs across the billion-dollar company, starting with its movie and TV budget and potentially extending to its Hulu streaming service. And even the superheroes are not safe. The changes are part of the company's plan to navigate the new media environment and decline of linear TV, a theatrical film business with an uncertain future, and a growing streaming business. Well, their streaming business isn't growing. In fact, their streaming business has been losing tons and tons and tons of money since Disney Plus started. Jump down a little bit further. The announcement comes after Disney last month announced plans to lay off 7,000 employees and a significant transformation to cut back costs as he eliminates some of Iger's predecessor's efforts. I'm going to skip down here. There was something that caught my eye when I went through this article earlier. Sequels. Sequels are expected to take a back seat. So even though Marvel, Star Wars, Frozen, and others would remain exclusive to Disney-owned platforms, with Iger stating that the company has the most powerful brand in family entertainment, sequels are a thing that's not going to be a focus. Yeah, surprising, because usually with, like, I'll take Marvel, for example. You advance stories by doing sequels and building on top of previous movies. What we have to look at with Marvel is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times we go back to the well on certain characters, Iger said. Sequels typically work well for us, but do you need a third or fourth, for instance? Or is it time to turn to other characters? There's nothing in any way inherently off in terms of the Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we are mining. But that's the whole point of comics. Yeah, there's multiple characters, but those characters have stories. And those stories are built on issue after issue after issue after issue, and sometimes there's crossovers. And when you have a product, or I'm forgetting the term here, but anyway, when you have something like Marvel in your hands, and you have Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, the Avengers, X-Men, the Thunderbolts, Guardians of the Galaxy, you have all these different characters that you start with an origin story of each character, and you build from there. And that's why you have sequels. That's why you have Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America, the first Avenger, Captain America. I forget what the second movie was. It escapes me right now. But then you go to Captain America Civil War. You had the Hulk, who hasn't had a sequel since. You've had Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. You build movies based on the stories of these characters. So saying sequels take a back seat, if you look at the trajectory over Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness. Now we're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise, but with a whole set of different Avengers as an example. Yeah, that's right. You are going to have a different set of Avengers. The Avengers evolved. They've evolved in the comics. The base set of superheroes that was the Avengers doesn't stay throughout the stories told in the comics. Some come, some go. You introduce new heroes into the Avengers. I think, if I remember correctly, you also had like West Coast Avengers, Dark Avengers. So you have different characters that comprise that group. So yeah, in essence, he is right. Iger also added that a goal would be to focus on high quality programming, calling out not only the core franchises but also FX, which he praised as both a producer of content and as a brand. So this story here tells one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is theme parks. Disney CEO Bob Iger admits theme park pricing was too aggressive after ripoff complaints, including flop new Star Wars hotel that charges $20,000 for voyage on a fake spaceship. Now, I don't know a lot about this, and I haven't been to Disney in 1984, nearly 40 years. I don't know if I'll ever go back to Disney. I'd rather go to Universal myself. But, I mean, theme parks was the core business for Disney outside of the cartoons, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, Pluto, Goofy. Outside of those core characters, those core cartoons. So the Galactic Cruiser, yeah, that's been a flop. I've heard that from other content creators that that's a flop. Ticket pricing, yeah, if people can't afford tickets to a theme park or theme parks or an entertainment complex, they're not going to go. I mean, this is just, I mean, I'm glad he's talking about cutting pricing to go to theme parks. I'm glad to hear it. During remarks at Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference Thursday, Iger said Disney made a grave mistake of putting profits first in recent years, leaving even its most zealous fans disenchanted with the happiest place on earth. Iger said, "I always believed that Disney was a brand that needs to be accessible," and he's totally right. The theme park business is their core business. And I've always thought that if you charge less to get in, you can charge more for the other stuff, the other amenities, the food, the drinks, souvenirs, so on and so forth, rides. Some of those ripoffs included the park's top access tickets being hiked to $244 for a single day pass, a ticket which in 2017 just cost $124. That was Bob Chapek's doing, by the way, the guy who was fired a few months ago before they rehired Iger and brought him out of retirement. On Thursday, he said his focus was going to be on cost-cutting measures at Disney to make it more affordable for customers, and announced plans to reorganize the company and find $5 billion in savings, part of its plan to cut 7,000 jobs. Job cuts are not always a good thing. I understand why companies have to do it because they do have shareholders to answer to. I mean, corporate America is corporate America. So, Iger said Disney was focused on so much profit that it undermined the brand that had won so many devoted fans. In our zeal to grow profits, we may have been a little too aggressive about some of our pricing. In fact, down here a little further, the parks have already begun scaling back some of its pricing, including returning free overnight parking for hotel guests and increasing how many days Disneyland offers its lowest price $104 adult ticket. So it's good to see that they are taking some steps to make the parks more accessible. Still, though, Disney is a mess. And I think I said this earlier, but me personally, I'd rather go to Universal. That's just my opinion. So, let me know what you think. Are you a Disney fan? Are you glad that they're dropping prices to go to the theme parks, to go to the complexes? Share your comments with me. I'd like to hear what the opinions of you out there are. Please like this video. It's going to help out with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified when I upload videos. Generally, I do it Monday through Friday, but I figured based on what I've been looking at last night and this morning, I figured I'd pop a few out today. Yeah, so on that note, everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we will catch you in the next video. Thanks, everybody.